again to the United States of America. Welcome to Texas and welcome to COTA as we get ready for the final race of round one of the 2025 Global Series in MotoGP eSport. This is going to be a fantastic one, isn't it, Chris?
Yeah, absolutely. Look at some of the quality of this grid. Davide Turisi starting from the middle of the second row. Our rookie rider, Julito Campion, on the outside of the second, but we also saw Jack Hammer there as well. But it is Turisi who leads the championship coming into this one after two phenomenal performances so far on day one of the 2024 campaign. And I, for one, I'm very excited to see what he can do here at the Circuit of the Americas. What a difficult and technical track this is. Whoever wins this one will certainly deserve to win it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's one of the more difficult tracks, but it's also one of the favorites as we get ready to go racing. There are the red lights then, and we are just about ready to go. They're out, and there it is. Piero Ricciuti on pole for the first time in 2025. Can he get the whole shot? He's looking good. He's looking very good indeed as the riders behind him battle it out. It is still Piero Ricciuti who leads as we go through the first corner, and he's already pulling away, now followed by Daniele Loe and Adrian.
Yeah, superb start from the LCR rider. The dream start he would have wanted from pole position. He's out for victory and podium here to end a long wait since we've seen him on the rostrum. Daniele Loe has had a dramatic day of racing so far, and he will be hoping to put most of that behind him and get himself into that top three. But a dream start for those two. In third position it is Adrian, world champion Jack Hammer in fourth, Connor.
Yeah, a bit of contact there behind, but it is Adrian now who's currently third ahead of Jack Hammer. Jack Hammer doing incredibly well there. What a line, and we've just seen Deepo Akbar go down.
Yeah.
Deepo Akbar crashing out here on the first lap. How costly could that prove to be?
Yeah, disappointment for Deepo Akbar there. He's been on the podium, of course, in Silverstone. He's a lot to do. Look at him at the back of the picture there. A long way to go to get back into the top three. And that is Jack Hammer who's gone down, is it? That is hugely dramatic in the context of the 2025 championship, Connor.
Yeah, absolutely. It was Jack Hammer that was pushing Davide Turisi all the way, and now he's gone down early on in this Grand Prix in COTA. So it remains to be seen whether he'll be able to catch up once again. He's still just in P5 to Davide Turisi's P4. There we can see the championship then. It is currently Turisi who leads ahead of Jack Hammer.
Yeah, Turisi did the double coming into this one. He's off the podium as things stand, but by no way out of it yet. But look at this battle for the top two places, Piero Ricciuti and Daniele Loe. We've seen Daniele Loe in such promising positions so far in 2025. Are we going to see him finally capitalise and get himself onto the podium? That's Adrian then making a move on Davide Turisi as they battle for P3. It seemed Turisi had gotten through and looking to go through again on the Honda rider. Who will take P3 here? It is Turisi who gets himself into P3, but for how long? Here comes Adrian as we look at the top two. Once again, Ricciuti and Loe battling for the lead.
Yeah, this is absolutely incredible stuff, both at the front and just behind them. It looked like Turisi had made that move stick on Adrian. Not so. It's still Adrian who's in P3 and Ricciuti who leads Loe, but this front four are really giving it everything they've got.
Yeah, separate battles for P1 and P3. Looks like it might become a battle for the top four. Indeed it is, a battle for the top four already as Turisi fires one up the inside of Adrian as Daniele Loe ran it wide in front of him. But look at this, side by side they are coming down the straight. It's Turisi who has the advantage, but is Adrian going to hang one on the outside? Well, they're touching coming into the corner. It's Turisi though who has the advantage. Daniele Loe has recovered from running wide on that second corner previous to there, and Loe is running in second.
What a battle we are bearing witness to here on this second lap in COTA. Turisi there, just so brave on the brakes and managing to edge ahead of two-time world champion Adrian as Turisi looks to improve on what has already been an absolutely incredible round one of this MotoGP eSport Global Series. What a battle between Adrian and Turisi. Look at those faces, pure concentration, giving it absolutely everything, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. Adrian now running in a position he's become a little bit too familiar with during round 1, P4. He wants the medals. He wants to be among the podium positions. He wants the gold medal, of course. But he's going to have a hell of a battle on his hands to get there, because it is Piero Ricciuti, who is an experienced rider and doing quite well. He's got 0.6 of a second advantage over Daniele Eloy. Daniele, of course, looking for that podium position. He hasn't quite got one yet in round 1. Has no problems, though, for Davide Turrisi, I should say, during this opening round. Doubled up already in Jerez and Silverstone. He's in P3 at the moment, but very much in contention for victory here.
Yeah, absolutely. He's well in the fight here for the top spot on the podium at COTA after delivering sensational performances in both Jerez and Silverstone. Now he's just edging closer and closer to Daniele Eloy after having dispatched Adrian so well. But that battle is one that's going to continue, I am sure. And here we are ahead of our rookie Julito Campion, who's doing incredibly well as well to take the battle to the veterans. He's got Jackhammer just behind him, and he's managed to pull away there. So absolutely fantastic stuff from Julito Campion, showing us what he's capable of and showing us that he's got the mettle to give everything with these icons of MotoGP eSport like Jackhammer.
Yeah, Jackhammer then just ahead of the Trackhouse Racing rider who goes down. Extra rock. Oh dear, dear, dear. That's not going to do his hopes any good. Extra rock there taken out. I'm not quite sure who it was that came through. It was flashing up on our screens very quickly, but Adrian is in 4th position. We've got eyes on him right now. Is there a move coming on Turrisi? Is there going to be a move ahead of them? And Daniele Eloy just not quite close enough to Piero Ricciuti. A very controlled and composed performance so far out front.
Yeah, Ricciuti really delivering on the promise that he has. He hasn't delivered over the past few years. It's in fact, I think maybe 2022 was the last time he was on the podium. This time around, it looks like he's in the mood for the top spot on the rostrum. And there is Jackhammer showing Julito Campion just what it means to be a champion. Just showing the rookie his back wheel there. I'm just going to take this space, I think. And now we are with Daniele Eloy, currently in P2, not having the best round 1, maybe not the round 1 he would have expected after doing so well in the first Global Series in 2024.
Yeah, it has to be said, performance-wise has been impressive, but points-wise perhaps not as reflective as his performance should be.
Yeah, I think he's definitely lacking a bit of luck, is Daniele Eloy. We said it in the previous race, just an unfortunate crash when he was really going wheel to wheel with Davide Turrisi, the current championship leader. Just couldn't keep up as much as he tried. And he did manage to get into the battle for podium, but wasn't able to really deliver.
Yeah, just missed out on that podium battle in Silverstone, but looking quite good here. In Silverstone, he did encounter an issue in the early laps while running in P2, battling with Davide Turrisi, but no issues so far. So good, it can be said for Eloy.
Yeah, absolutely. He's still very much in contention. Look at him there. Look at him there going in hard. Daniele Eloy and that Ducati Lenovo team machine. And he's maybe just been biding his time. And he's preparing to make a move now that we're into the latter stages of this Grand Prix in the USA. Ricciuti, for the time being, still leading this battle between the two Italians.
Yeah, Ricciuti looking good. As you see the focus on the left of your screens there between Eloy and Piero Ricciuti. Ricciuti searching for a victory. It's been a while since he's got one, but he's got so much pressure mounting behind him. And Davide Turrisi also has pressure mounting behind him, as Adrian just will not give up the ghost. He is chasing him down. The 2022 world champion is looking for a first podium of the campaign and is breathing down the neck of our current championship leader.
Yeah, we've just been given confirmation as well that Davide Turrisi has his first warning for a long lap. So, could get very interesting.
Oh.
And there goes Adrian.
Oh, he has hit the deck at perhaps the most pivotal of times. As the pressure was building on Turrisi, he's gotten a long lap warning. Well, the pressure has been relieved somewhat as the rider in chase has crashed. Let's see how that will affect the chase for the podium positions and, of course, Turrisi's mindset going into the final 2.5 laps.
Yeah, he's got to be entirely focused on his race, but any mistake could prove incredibly costly for the Aprilia rider. He's getting closer and closer to Aloe, I think, as well. So he's got to be careful if he wants to maintain his lead at the front of the 2025 MotoGP eSport standings. For the time being, Aloe is holding him at bay.
Yeah, and we just saw Adrian there in the back of the picture. You can see him now behind Teresi, so clearly that crash wasn't too costly as he was back up immediately and competing. So he'll be looking to make up some ground on the riders ahead of him, but it's been fairly stagnant, I think it's fair to say, at the top in terms of times. Just a few tenths between them at each sector. And 3 tenths between Aloe and Davide Teresi. Let's keep an eye on these gaps.
Yeah, but they're all delivering an absolute masterclass here in COTA. We're with Davide Teresi for the time being as he looks to narrow that gap. Moving on now to the Ducati of Daniele Aloe, his 3rd year with us in this MotoGP eSport World Championship, and he's really shown us what he's capable of. And he's going for that win again. Now back with Teresi, and the gap is getting narrower and narrower at the front.
Yeah, Piero Ricciuti just needs to keep an eye on what's going on behind him here. Of course, Ricciuti is a race winner in the MotoGP eSports Championship, but he's looking to double that number here today. But it's down to less than 4 tenths of a second at the front of this race. So Daniele Aloe is closing.
Yeah, absolutely. Aloe looked like he was going to make a move earlier, didn't. So you have to think, where is his spot going to be here at COTA? He's got plenty of opportunities, but he's just too far back for the time being and isn't quite close enough to make his move on Piero Ricciuti. He has to be absolutely perfect. He was close there, but not quite close enough. But what a duel between these two leaders.
Yeah, the long drive down now into turn 12. Heartbreaking zone coming right up. Will we see any changes here? Will we see Aloe close up? Will he be later on the brakes? It looks like Ricciuti has that one covered. And behind them, it is still Aloe in second and Davide Teresi in P3. Adrian has recovered from that incident a little bit earlier, but sits, 6-7 bike lengths behind P3 as things stand.
Yeah, Adrian's done incredibly well to maintain the pressure on Teresi here. So absolutely fantastic stuff from the 2-time world champion of MotoGP eSports. But Teresi still holding that last podium position in that glorious Aprilia livery there.
Yeah, Jack Hammer, just to point out, our defending 2-time world champion, running in 7th position. Perhaps not what he envisioned coming into this one. He has had such success at COTA through the years, but running in P7, currently sitting 2nd in the championship. Well, he was 2nd in the championship coming into this one. 7th position will see him lose more ground to Davide Teresi, who's running in P3 if the checkered flag were to come out now.
We'll have to point out, of course, that Jack Hammer was last year's champion, but managed to claim the crown by delivering a sensational performance at Milan Games Week in our grand final. So he can leave it late, I think. It doesn't seem like a gamer that needs to bow to pressure. He can really control what he needs to be doing and when. So I wouldn't be too quick to rule out anyone of his caliber.
No, I certainly wasn't ruling him out, Connor. You should know better than me to give a prediction at such an early stage of any championship. We are, of course, just into the 3rd race of the campaign. It is still round 1 here in the global series of the MotoGP eSport Championship. And we've got, just over a lap and a half to go here. Piero Ricciuti is leading Daniele Aloe, and then it is Davide Teresi. Teresi has taken 2 victories so far in round 1. Looks like he won't get that 3rd one, but there's a lot that can happen in a lap at COTA.
Yeah, absolutely. A lap at COTA is a world of action, and both of these two, Davide Teresi and Daniele Aloe, were on the podium in our final race of the year in 2024 here in COTA, doing battle. They were the other way around, though. It was Teresi who finished 2nd and Aloe who finished 3rd. We'll see how they finish up this time around.
Aloe running it wide there.
Oh.
How costly will that be? He is onto the green there just a couple of corners ago. But he is still in P2, hasn't lost that much time to Davide Turrisi behind him. But Piero Ricciuti has opened up a nearly 7/10 gap. Indeed, has gone over 7/10 now. So Ricciuti is pulling the pin at the front of this Grand Prix.
Yeah, Ricciuti's been absolutely sensational here in COTA from start to finish. He got away off the line quicker than anyone else, and he's managed to maintain that lead while there was the battling behind, all that scrapping, and he didn't look back. He just opened the throttle and said, this is mine to win.
Yeah, absolutely. So on to the final lap. We are here. Piero Ricciuti, as he has been for most of this race, leading over Daniele Aloe. Davide Turrisi on for another podium finish here in what would be a near perfect round one for the Aprilia rider. Adrian, has he got anything left in the tank to challenge the podium positions ahead of him?
Yeah, there's so little separating these leading four. It just looks like Piero Ricciuti is the rider who's got that little bit extra, but we're talking about the slightest of margins here. And any mistake on this final lap would be game-changing in terms of the championship.
Yeah, into the final set of corners we go then. This is some tough racing here. Lots of changes in direction, lots of different types of braking needed here. Ricciuti has mastered them, has navigated them masterfully, I should say, on the previous 7 laps. Will the 8th lap be any different? Will he open the door for Daniele Aloe at any point? It doesn't look like he will, does it, Connor?
It doesn't at all. Piero Ricciuti is delivering one of the performances of the season. That is, without doubt, absolutely masterful, precise, controlled. He knows exactly what he's doing. It's absolutely incredible from Ricciuti.
Yeah, superb stuff from Ricciuti as the checkered flag comes out. And that should be the victory wrapped up for Ricciuti ahead of Daniele Aloe. Davide Turrisi taking the podium position. We're watching Jack Hammer as he looks to have stolen a march for 5th position, so picking up some crucial championship points there. Of course, it is a long season and a long campaign with round 2 to come up in a few weeks' time, and then, of course, the Milan Games week.